everyone, welcome to my house. Good to have you here. I really wish I could see all of your beautiful faces and give you a big giant hug, but I guess a virtual fist bump will work. Pound it. Yeah, nice. I'm in my sunroom right now. It's my favorite room in my house because the sun shines in and it's beautiful and warm. It also doubles as a little playroom for my kids, as you can see, but they are napping right now, so I get some time to hang out with you guys. I would love to know, what have you been up to? Have your parents let me know. Send me a picture. Did you make an epic Lego castle or something like that? I would love to see a picture. Some things that I've been up to. First of all, for the first time in 5 years, I have internet at my house, so I'm trying to learn how to not spend all of my time watching TV on the internet and YouTube and things like that, as I'm sure you all are, learning how to go outside instead of just sit on the computer all the time. Some other things I really love to do, maybe it'd be fun for you to see what I do. I like math problems and puzzles. I really love to read. I'm almost done with this book. I really love to cross stitch, which you probably don't even know what that is. It's basically sewing X's over and over until it makes a cool design. So you probably can't tell. I don't even know which way this goes right now. You probably can't tell just from this what I'm making, but it will turn out to be a peacock. So that's been fun. Helps me relax and kind of get my mind off of things for a while. And I also really love to paint. I typically paint things, words that mean a lot to me. Sometimes I paint flowers. I'm not a professional painter yet, but I'm working on it. I'm having a growth mindset for painting. I also love to be outside. I have spent so much time outside in the last week when it hasn't been raining, and I really hope all of you are going outside. Don't be sitting playing video games all day. You need the fresh air. Get outside. I have a couple ideas of things you can be doing if you're starting to get bored. Go outside and blow bubbles, or better yet, make your own bubbles. If you have dish soap and water at home, you can make your own bubbles. And try to be creative of what you can use for your bubble wands. My son and I figured out that we can use this spoon with holes in it, it's kind of shiny so it's hard to see, as a bubble wand, and the bubbles still come out. Pretty cool. We also have been feeding the birds with some bird seed. My son, who's three, almost 4, he chased the squirrels out of our yard this morning because he didn't want them to eat our bird seed. So that was pretty funny. I also took a drive today to deliver some thank you notes from my daughter's birthday, and it was nice just to roll the windows down a little bit and play some silly songs for my kids and just get out of the house for a few minutes without really coming into contact with germs and things like that. Another thing you could do is walk around your neighborhood and look for signs of spring. It's starting to get nice outside. Certain plants are starting to come up now. You can watch and see how long it is before the trees start to bud, or watch the grass get greener in a couple of weeks. That'll be fun. If you do really, really, really want to go online, I know that the Cincinnati Zoo and the Houston Zoo and the Georgia Aquarium are posting some live feed of different animals, which is really cool. I did check out the Cincinnati Zoo. That one's through Facebook, so you're going to need help from an adult on that one. But it's been really cool. My son and I watched some red pandas crawling around the other day, so that was really fun. So there's lots of things you can do. You can also take little animals or beads or whatever you have laying around and put them in some containers and freeze them by adding water to them. Freeze them in your freezer, and then you can either hammer them to get them out with a toy hammer, or put them outside and see how long it takes for them to melt. Maybe you can guess how long it'll take. Like maybe it would take 40 minutes for all the ice to be gone, and then you can see if your guess is correct. Those are just some of the ideas of things you can do. But I hope whatever you're doing, however you're spending your time, I hope you're doing well. I hope you know that I miss you so much, and I hope you're healthy and safe. I, once again, would love to hear from you and see some pictures of what you've been doing. With that, we'll get into our read aloud for today. I found this giant collection of Dr. Seuss favorites at Hope Gospel for $3, and I thought we would read a book from Dr. Seuss that maybe not all of you have read. It's called And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. I chose this book because it is a book that my mom read to me a lot. It was one of the only Dr. Seuss books I had at my house growing up, and I thought it'd be fun to share it with you. So, And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Try to show you the pictures here as I read. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, "Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see." But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, "Your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales." Now what can I say when I get home today? All the long way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've looked and I've kept careful track, but all that I've noticed except my own feet was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. That's nothing to tell of. That won't do, of course, just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story. That's only a start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling that cart. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame. Such a marvelous beast with a cart that's so tame. The story would really be better to hear if the driver I saw were a charioteer. A golden blue chariot, something to meet, rumbling like thunder down Mulberry Street. Oops, the sun's shining bright. No, it won't do at all. A zebra's too small. A reindeer is better. He's fast and he's fleet, and he'd look mighty smart on old Mulberry Street. Hold on a minute, there's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy sled. A reindeer and sleigh. Say anyone could think of that, Jack or Fred or Joe or Nat. Say even Jane could think of that. But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant. There's something strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size, a blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes. And then, just to give him a little more tone, have a Rajah with rubies perched high on a throne. Say, that makes a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But now I don't know. It still doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would whip it around in the air like a kite. But he'd look simply grand with a great big brass band. He has quite an imagination. A band that's so good should have someone to hear it, but it's going so fast that it's hard to keep near it. I'll put on a trailer. I know they won't mind if a man sits and listens while hitched on behind. But now, is it fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. That's really too heavy a load for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He needs two at least. But now what worries me is this. Mulberry Street runs into Bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. It takes police to do the trick, to guide them through where traffic's thick. It takes police to do the trick. They'll never crash now. They'll race at top speed with Sergeant Mulvaney himself in the lead. The mayor is there, and he thinks it is grand, and he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. The mayor is there, and the aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white, and blue. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Imagine if you saw all of that on your way home from school. With a roar of its motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. And that makes a story that's really not bad, but it still could be better. Suppose that I add a Chinese man who eats with sticks, a big magician doing tricks, a 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more. I'm almost home. I swung round the corner and dashed through the gate. I ran up the steps, and I felt simply great. For I had a story that no one could beat, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But Dad said quite calmly, "Just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school." There was so much to tell, I just couldn't begin. He frowned at me sternly from there in his seat. Was there nothing to look at? No people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain horse and wagon on Mulberry Street. The end. If you have time later today or later this week, I encourage you to listen to that story again and listen for the rhyming words. See if you can pick out some of the words that rhyme. Dr. Seuss is famous for rhyming, and there are plenty of words that rhyme in that story. Also, see if you can hear any sight words that you know. An extra challenge would be to spell the words that you know how to spell. You could use a dry erase marker and write on your window, as long as it's okay with your mom or dad. Or if you have a squirt gun, you can try to write it on the sidewalk or your driveway, or even in the grass is fine. Try to spell out the word with your squirt gun using the water. So those are just a few ideas of how you can engage with the story even more. I hope you liked it, and I'm looking forward to reading you another story in a couple days. Remember to get outside, enjoy the weather, and be nice to your parents and nice to your siblings. Help out around the house if you can. Help with dishes, that's always fun. And yeah, I miss you, and I'm looking forward to meeting with you again. We'll see you later.